Wait. The thing is, because of Yosef's anti-content, meta-content thing, I thought that today would be a good stream for me to go over the big five. And that is the God Mask, Defense Against the Dark Arts, Set in the Shadow Matriarchy, Paintball for Jesus, and Deadwood and the Fourth Wall.
I try to share perspectives which are hopeful. To
You do, Gavin, very much so. Now, the God Mask, ladies and gentlemen, is a set of four phrases that are inscribed on a mask in a fictional story over on my Substack. That's an insert from the Paintball for Jesus book that's not been written yet. And those four phrases are these: This is a PvP server. The beast takes what it wants and gets what it gets. Man protects the sacred, and you're part of it now. And the God Mask phrases are part of an initiation into manhood ritual, which, unless you're like Jewish or a Mason or some other group, you don't really get one in our current Western culture. You don't get an initiation into manhood. And the reason that I show from the dark perspective, Gavin, is because that this is a PvP server is not self-evident if you aren't initiated into the fact that this is a PvP server, which means player versus player, which means even though you're a level 1 noob, a level 50 guy could come and trick you and fool you and take you advantage of you, and it's completely allowed on the server. And while Gavin, you say that you try to provide the hopeful perspective, I think that's the default perspective that people come in with, is because they don't get, unless they've been harshened by the PvP guy who came by and smited them. They don't really get until they learn that this is a PvP server. And as such, they are subject to being taken advantage of by ne'er do well characters, as explained by the guy who reportedly got the highest IQ score on record, as interviewed by Kurt with the Toe. Kurt with the Toe did an interview, and here's a tiny piece of that.
Evil to incoherence. I said evil is incoherent.
Your face is very large for me right now.
Okay, so basically it's incoherent because evil is anti-existence. All right, basically it hates existence and it wants to go out of existence, right? But when you take a bunch of evil and it won't recognize its own existence and it won't recognize the existence of anything else, it's very hard to coordinate. It can't be coordinated, so it becomes incoherent. The only way that evil actually achieves any sort of reality is it uses physical systems to do it. It nucleates physical systems and uses their structure, their power structures, their hierarchies in order to be realized. That's a danger zone phenomenon.
Just assume that proposition is correct.
I didn't.
And as such, if you are naive to the nature of this PvP server, it makes you more susceptible to being nucleated by the evil. And now, sort of thing. The next portion of the show is going to be Set in the Shadow Matriarchy, but now I need some more branding. It might be there. Now, for Set in the Shadow Matriarchy part. Set is the television set, and what it was is it's like they tricked everybody in the West to install an altar, a Black Mirror altar called Set, into their homes. And with that, they shot out this normalization ray that let everybody know what was normal, because they used to be getting it, like from newspapers and or from churches and stuff. But then the set said, this is what's normal. And over time, they've gotten really good at it. And as an example, see, that's what humans do. Whenever we put our mind to something, we just keep getting better and better at it. And the best example I have for that is probably going to get a copyright strike. But from MTV News, The okay. As you can see here, as humans do a thing over time, we get better and better at it. The lady on the left is a noob, and the lady on the right is not so noob because we've gotten better and better over time, as if morphogenetic fields are a thing. And as such, that includes the mind control and manipulation performed of the humans by Set. And the shadow matriarchy part is because before Seth made it normal for your mom not to be at home, and made it normal for your mom to go make tax cattle money. Uh, that lady used to be in the house helping you know that, like, this is what you want to go get from a woman, somebody who takes care of the home while you go get the money. And the ladies would have to talk to each other and work together because there was so much work to do. And then they made the machines that made the work easier, and then they put the ladies to work. And now you might not have one in your house at all, hardly. You see her after work before you go to bed. And but the ladies talking to each other and then using what they say to each other to, like, harass their men into doing the right things and to teach the boys and the girls how to redo this, keep it going. That was kind of by the power of Set, and that got by the power of Set is what I call the shadow matriarchy, because as the protectors, the men kept them in the shadows. You didn't really know they were pulling the strings, but inside the houses, they were totally pulling the strings. And so those two topics are part of my big five we're going over today. We still have paintball for Jesus, Deadwood in the fourth wall, and the defense against the dark arts, because apparently I'm a tryhard this stream. Now to move on to the next portion. The defense against the dark arts one is, well, you see, what happened was defense against the dark arts is as the decline of the film happened, and the one of the last things that really got big in book terms was the Harry Potter series. So a lot of the youths were programmed with that. And in that series, they were supposed to have a defense against the dark arts class, but since the world around them was so corrupted, the defense against the dark arts teacher was one of the, like, hey, we'll not give them good defense against the dark arts because we're corrupt. And as such, the children themselves found a magical room of requirement. And I think that to the extent that we can, this place sort of functions as one of those defense against the dark arts rooms, or rooms of requirement. Get it right. And what we haven't quite developed here yet is something that our good friend Joseph touched on in his talk about the appearance I made on Grail Country.
Both to the art of film, but there's also like a lot to the art of mediation and like how, like, rhetoric and communication theory and persuasion theory, and yes, marketing and branding. Even like there are versions of that stuff that aren't evil, that actually, like, you know, how do you tell someone you have a really good product that actually is really good? How do you build trust? And we can talk about, like, there's this, like, the authentic versus the profilicity, like, I can't remember what the third one is, but right, there are these things that Paul's been playing with, but they're all important, and they all can be tools used for the good. And well, I'm not saying don't be skeptical. I'm also saying we need to have this conversation on the at the level where we do assume good intentions, so we understand some of these differences. I think because one of the problems I would love to see us discuss more directly is not less the corruption side and more the mediation side. How do you veil and unveil? And that's going to be different for different people, right?
It's going to be different for different people, and certain people only have eyes to hear and eyes to and eyes to see and ears to hear certain things. So it's important that you keep a lot of it veiled and mysterious and hard to comprehend. Otherwise, the direct exposure to things they cannot hear and understand makes them like like their free will doesn't allow them to understand that until they grow the eyes to see. And so it will steer their salient landscaper will steer them away from direct exposure to things that they're not ready for. And here's a blue church card of the show. The deuce of hearts. The deuce of hearts for the blue church. The blue church today gets the deuce. And let's see. So oh, wait a minute.
Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal, so say we all.
And now we'll pull a red shirt. Red. It used to be a casino deck, now it's just red. But here it is, that card coming up right after I finish shoveling. I hope everybody's feeling virtually not alone. I know I am. Oh, look at that. The King of the Spades is the card of the show for the day. And now Deadwood in the fourth wall is the final five of the big five. And it's, well, the Deadwood part is like recently inquired in the hive mind. Is there any tutorials for making the branding? You see, Deadwood, like this was, I fed Deadwood into the AI slave bots, and that's the art they came up with today. And the name of the stream is Deadwood DADA, for Deadwood Defense Against the Dark Arts. And as we're learning to play and doing these things to lift you out of the audience and on top of the fourth wall, where I continue to proclaim it does not exist, from the top of it. The Deadwood part is because in the TV show Deadwood, the two good guy main characters went to Deadwood, where there was this big gold rush of information, gold rush happening, and our gold is knowledge nuggets. And like that clip I did from Langan is it's a little gold I mined from that long podcast. And as a hardware store, they were like, there's a bunch of people digging up gold, we'll sell shovels. And so the Deadwood is a reminder that that what we can do together as part of this defense against the dark arts is train people how to extract clips and make. I'm trying to be a hardware store. That's the Deadwood part. And now for a bit on the fourth wall.
Thomas Flight's deconstruction of that movie about the fourth wall. And part of what this little corner is the hope of the destruction of the fourth wall. In that way, and this is going to get into Matt's Twitter storm, in that way, there's a desire for us to walk into the screens. And, there's a deep irony in Grizz's channel, because, of course, his channel is an iconoclastic attack on the gods' set and the gods' temples. Yet, no channel in the corner, in that sense, deconstructs the gods' set like Grizz's does, with his branding, with his commercials, with his pattern. And so it's almost a Gerardian rivalry where you have to sort of become like your rival in order to destroy it. But in order to do that, you become like your rival. So this...
I'm gonna have a look at you.
Now we've had quite a stirring in the hive mind. Oh, here's the Fed. So that means we should probably pull a card from the agency deck for the third card of the show. And remember, Embody, there is no agency. Everything you do while you work for them, you'll be held personally accountable for at your judgment. At your judgment. With your judgment. But everybody's got to make a living, they say. It's not that we're taken care of like sparrows. Oh, the agency card of the deck is the 10 of diamonds. The 10 of diamonds. Now, and look, I don't know if you're new here, but if you are, and I do a horrible thing where I don't talk, you can get a +2 to the next stream savings throws if you let me know in the chat, and a +4 if you let me know with an emoji. That's Gavin, Ups. Is it Stephen or Stephen? Stephen, Tayo, Teo, Cassandra, and McMo. Oh, and how is a taco a sound thing, Slack? Clint, all getting a +4 on next stream saves. Okay, and where are we at now? Oh, yeah. Well, there's here's a quick one. Maybe, yeah.
Starting small at first, but when we got there for the tunnel, you'd have to wait, and as you got to the tunnel, we would all go woo woo, and if we got to the train tracks, my mom and my grandma and me and my sister, we would yell bumpity bump, starting small at first.
Yes,
when we got there.
Yes, that's right. Sandy has started her channel, and she's starting it small. There's a lot of that going on, and that's part of climbing up on top of the fourth wall. And boy, howdy, that would have landed great, if I had managed to play it right when I did the train. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, well, that's it. Sandy got up on the fourth wall, and in case you didn't know, somebody else has climbed up on the fourth wall, and here's a little bit of that. Once I load it and show it to you. Hey, stop it! Now that you fixed your sound, Steven, I can do this. That was a masterpiece, Franco. I think that one's a masterpiece. I hope all of you are back now. In case you're not, I'm going to run that clip one more time because I'm about to disagree with him. Here, we'll just do it this way. Hey, no, we won't. We'll do it this way.
Section there sometimes where he'll do the Merriam. He'll use the words of the day from the Merriam-Webster dictionary, online dictionary. And he'll use that to create an idea, to create a sentence. The sentence containing an idea. That idea, I would argue, is containing a story. He doesn't take them out to that level because who wants to go through all that trouble and hear that? But I think that you very much could. And I think that database of words and the meaning of words in Merriam, when you apply a randomness to it,
That's the objection I have, Stephen, because our good friend Miriam over here is the words of the day I don't think are random. I think they're a secret message for us to decipher, and that's what I try to do on the word of the day. To circumspect means to careful to consider all circumstances and risks before doing something. I am not the circumspect. We go back about the 5. Wait, we've gone back too far. Oh, yes. The actual word of today is
mangle.
And I have several times in this stream. That means to ruin it due to carelessness or the lack of skill.
Tenet
is a principle, belief, or doctrine that is held true by the members of an organization, movement, or profession.
Ominous
is something that hints or suggests something bad is coming or is going to happen.
Ferret
is to find out something, such as information, by carefully searching. It's also a mammal.
Retronym
refers to a term such as analog watch, film camera, or acoustic guitar that is created and adopted to distinguish the original or older version, form, or example from something that others are more recent. So if we take a circumspect, the message of the day is clearly that you ferret the retronym to find the ominous tenant and then mangle it. This. Look at this. In mere moments, I'm appearing over on Chad's channel for a discussion that's great. And all we need now is to play branding one more time. Oh, it's Thursday? That's when we like to do the Miriam message. I'm out of time, but I'm out of my head.
Shake